I need to tell you something that might sting a little if you're getting ready to sell your home here in the Tri-Valley. The number one reason homes sit on the market here is not the market. It's not the economy, and it is not bad luck. It is one decision the seller makes before the home ever hits the market. And it's the same mistake I watch people make over and over again. Pricing too high on purpose, thinking they can just come down later if they have to. I get why this happens. Selling your home is emotional. You have memories in your house, you've put money into it, and there's a natural instinct to want to protect all of that by starting with your price high. I understand that instinct completely. I just need you to understand, before you list, why it usually backfires. Here is the problem with that strategy. It does not just cost you time, it costs you real money. Sometimes in the tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm going to walk you through exactly why in this video. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jen Collins, and I help people buy and sell homes and figure out where exactly they want to live here in the Tri-Valley and throughout the East Bay. If you're thinking about selling your home in the Tri-Valley, this is the single most important video I would have you watch before you ever even start to talk to an agent about a list price. So let's get into it. A lot of sellers believe price it high, you can always come down later. And worst case, you just negotiate from a stronger number. It feels like the safe route. It feels like you're protecting your equity. And I totally understand that thought process here. But here's why that approach is usually backwards, and it's costing Tri-Valley home sellers real money right now. Here's the thing, your home gets exactly one first impression on the market, and it happens in the first 2 weeks it's listed. That is the window when it is the newest, the most visible, and getting looked at by every serious buyer actively searching in the Tri-Valley. If your price is realistic in that window, you are in front of the right buyers at the right moment, and that is when multiple offer situations can happen. If you price too far ahead of the market in that window, here is what actually happens instead. Buyers who know the market skip the showing entirely. The ones who do look will mentally file your home away as probably going to have to come down in price eventually, and in today's market, in 2026, those buyers can choose to wait you out. And every serious buyer's agent in the office is telling their client, don't worry about that one quite yet, it's a bit overpriced, it'll likely be reduced. Just imagine two identical homes in Danville. Same street, same square footage, same condition. One lists at the right number and gets multiple offers in the first 10 days, selling at or above asking. The other lists 20% higher, then sits for 2 months, drops the price twice, and eventually sells for less than the first home. Because now it is carrying the stigma of sitting on the market. Same house, different pricing decisions, and a very different outcome. That outcome can sometimes be a gap of tens of thousands of dollars between what the two homes actually close for. Here's something that other agents are not going to tell you, and I think you deserve to hear it. Sometimes a seller can get talked into a high number just because another agent used it just to win the listing. It feels good in the moment. It makes the seller feel good because a bigger number sounds like a bigger win. But if that number is not actually supported by real recent sales, all it does is buy that agent the listing, while setting the seller up for weeks of sitting, followed by a round of price cuts that end up costing more than pricing it right from day one. If an agent's number sounds noticeably higher from other opinions you get, ask that agent to show you the actual comparable sales that support it. If they can't, that's your answer. There's a simple test that you can run yourself before you ever sign a listing agreement. Ask every agent you interview the same question. What specific sold homes support this number? Not what is currently listed, those homes that have actually sold. And better yet, since sales are a lagging indicator of where the market has been 30 days or more ago, ask these agents about currently pending sales too. They're a better indicator of where the market is currently. If one agent's number is meaningfully higher than the others, and they cannot point to closed sales that justify it, you are not looking at a stronger agent. You are looking at a strategy to win your listing that you will personally pay for in the weeks ahead while you're on the market. Now let's talk about online home value estimates. This is where I see the mistake actually start, and it's rarely the seller's fault. It's usually where they got their number from. Online home value estimates, the kind you get instantly off a website, are built off of public records and recent sales in your general area. That means they take into account sales between family members, often at a substantially reduced price. They take into account the house down the street that may be in a better school district. They do not know that you just finished fully remodeling your kitchen. They do not know if your lot backs up to open space instead of a busy street. And they do not know whether your home is staged beautifully or if it needs a new roof. That tool is just a starting point for curiosity. It was never built to be your actual pricing strategy. And pricing your home off of that number alone is one of the fastest ways to miss the market. The alternative is something called a CMA, or a comparative market analysis. Quick translation, that just means that you're actually looking at homes like yours, truly like yours, in condition, location, and upgrades. Those that have sold recently, not what is currently listed and still sitting unsold. That is the number that actually reflects what buyers are willing to pay right now, not what you are hoping they are willing to pay. A good CMA also does something an online tool never will. It accounts for the story of your specific street. 2 homes 3 blocks apart in Danville or Pleasanton or other areas of the Tri-Valley can sell for genuinely different numbers because one backs up to a busy road and one backs up to open space. Because one has been updated in the last 5 years and one hasn't been touched since it was built. An algorithm looking at square footage and zip codes can't see any of that. A real comparative market analysis built by someone who has actually taken the time to understand your home's current condition and knows your neighborhood can. If you're realizing right now that your number might have come from the wrong source, that's okay. This is completely fixable before you list. Click this QR code here for all of our seller resources and our seller's guide. Or you can call and text me at the number in the description below to get your free, no obligation CMA. Let's take a quick pause before we keep going. If you're getting ready to sell here in Danville or anywhere across the East Bay, our team would love to sit down with you for a complimentary, no pressure pricing consultation using real current comparable sales, not just a guess. And if you're selling somewhere outside of our direct area, we have an expert vetted referral network of agents we trust completely, people we'd send our own family to, and we'd love to connect you with them. So what is actually happening in the market right now? Here's the part that should give you some confidence instead of anxiety. Across the wider Bay Area, roughly 7 in 10 correctly priced homes are still selling above their asking price. That tells you that demand has not disappeared. What has changed is that buyers have gotten far more selective about which homes deserve a full price offer. And an overpriced listing is the fastest way to end up in the pile they're ignoring instead of the pile they're competing over. And if your home is already sitting and you're wondering what to do about that, here's the honest truth. Even a small price reduction is better than no price reduction at all. It refreshes your listing in the email alerts and saves searches of every buyer who has been in the market. And it signals that you're a motivated, realistic seller, which brings serious buyers back to the table. One more honest number for you. Homes here in the Tri-Valley are, in general, sitting for longer on the market than they did during the peak frenzy years. When sellers see that statistic without context, they sometimes panic and price even higher to protect their equity, which is exactly backward. That days on market average includes every overpriced listing, dragging that number upward. The well-priced homes inside that same average are still moving quickly and still landing strong offers. Do not let a market-wide average talk you into a decision that only makes sense for the overpriced half of that average. So let me answer this directly based on your specific situation. If you haven't listed yet, get a real CMA before you pick a listing price. Not an online estimate, and definitely not a number based on what you wish your home was worth. If your home is already sitting on the market right now, do not be afraid of a price adjustment. It is not a failure. It is a strategic reset that puts you back in front of the right buyers. And if you're selling something unique or higher end that does not have a lot of close comparables, that is exactly the situation where a generic online estimate is going to be the most wrong, and where working with someone who knows this specific market matters the most. If you're just starting to think about selling and you're not in a rush, use the time to get an accurate read on your home's value now, so you're not caught off guard later. And no matter which situation you're in, get a second opinion on your number before you commit to it, not just a second guess. A second, honest, comparable sales-backed opinion. The best pricing decisions I've ever seen sellers make come from sitting down with the actual data, not from picking a number they were offered. So let us recap. The number one mistake costing Tri-Valley home sellers money is not the market. It is pricing to hope instead of pricing to the data. Your first 2 weeks on the market are your best shot at multiple offers. Online estimates are a starting point, not a pricing strategy. A big number from an agent means nothing without the comparable sales to back it up. And if your home is already sitting on the market, a real price adjustment can turn things around. If this video was helpful, and I hope it was, hit the like button, subscribe to our community, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next one. And if you know someone thinking of selling in the Tri-Valley or anywhere in the East Bay, send them this video before they pick their list price. I'm Jen with the Jen Collins Group, and we help people make smart, confident moves here in the East Bay, whether that's next month or a year from now. If you're planning to buy or sell your home in the East Bay, I would love to guide you through the process. Call or text me at the number below to schedule a complimentary, no-obligation strategy session. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.